We also wrote that shit on a nigga tombstone.
ESPN.
Ooh. Okay.
No, we'll go back. You can tell me what you were referencing.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, you just said what?
What you said?
Okay, let's go back. To about 3:30.
He switched up the hairstyle a little today, you guys. He's got the flying dreads kind of flying off the side now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, shit.
Follow news source.